What's up, everybody? Coming to you live again. It's Dave Bartosiak, and today is another one of Dave's Daily Dives where we dig into the major stock market indexes and see if we can't find some areas of support and resistance. But I don't leave you hanging there. At the end, I give you 5 Zacks Rank #1 strong buy stocks breaking out to new highs. Something very important that you can use in this market. Heck, you can use it in any market, but especially when a market's breaking out to highs. You want to make sure that the stocks that you're chasing at 52-week highs are stocks where they're actually earning more money, sort of quarter over quarter, year over year, and that's what the Zacks Rank can bring you. So we're going to talk about that later. But first, let's go ahead and dig into this S&P 500 chart. Now, I've been drawing all sorts of fibs in the past and breaking fibs and making new ones. So now what I'm going to do after this recent pullback here is I think I'm going to use this August low to our recent high as my first sort of chance at any sort of fib retracement. Now, granted, this could get blown up here real quick if this market goes higher, which it sure wants to do, doesn't it? We're going to see. We're going to get a Fed announcement on Thursday, not from the Fed, but President Trump is set to give us all his pick for Fed chair. Who's going to replace Janet Yellen, or maybe Janet Yellen will hang in there. Who knows? Either way, we're going to hear that on Thursday. This is Tuesday. We're talking on Halloween here. And we can see it's been a real treat for the market, just rallying pretty much straight up. Little in the way of pullbacks. I mean, we had a few days, but really nothing all that dramatic in terms of pullbacks. Really, people have been coming in and buying the dips. That's been a theme, a common thing that we've seen in this market. So I think, should we stall out, and now again we have to redraw this because we have new highs. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Give us some key levels should this market come back down. You're talking, well, really this low, which kind of coincides with 23.6. That's 25.43 on the S&P 500. Of course, resistance is at the previous high right now, just about 7 handles off from where we closed at today. So as long as the market continues to see good earnings, I think we're going to take that out, and we should be looking for new highs. The 50-day moving average that you can keep an eye on is at 25.11. Of course, the market spent some time below that 50-day moving average as we chopped around in August, but since then things have been pretty smooth sailing. There's talks of reaching across the aisle here in terms of the tax plan and making some concessions, perhaps breaking it up over multiple years. So that means we should be keeping an eye on the Russell 2000. Now, the small caps of the Russell arguably are going to benefit the most from a tax plan. So that's why you saw here November in through December, the Russell was the main beneficiary of the post-election day rally. Same sort of thing here, but let's go ahead and zoom in. I'm going to draw us a fib, of course, because that's what I do. From the August lows, again, through the highs here, give you an idea of where potential support might be on the downside if this continues to chop around. And chop around was certainly the name of the game here. You see these lower highs sort of coming in, lower lows getting dug out, but still nothing really all that significant. A couple of things, though. Of course, 50-day moving average, 14.54. That also happens to coincide with a 38.2% retracement of this move, but also I think these July highs are key. So if I were a betting man, which I am, I'd say that the market has a tough time, or the Russell has a tough time finding its way below 1450s in the foreseeable future. So this should be a really big support level. If the market comes down there, I think that's a screaming buy. Right now, we're just kind of chopping around with the tax reform debate, but the Russell will be the main beneficiary of that. And the other day, we had a little bit downside pressure. Didn't really worry us too much. Certainly hasn't worried the VIX. We did get a spike on the VIX up above 13 a few days ago, but now here we are right back to the 10s and likely to get back lower, maybe even break that 9 handle should this rally continue. So sort of all quiet going on there. One thing I want to check in on is the euro here. Like to look at the euro versus the dollar. Of course, Really huge rally in the euro, started to stall out, chopping around a little bit, and then now we've broken this fib, which is a big fib on the move. Look at this, a big move. I gotta zoom this out. I gotta show this off a little bit, right? Because you guys know that these fibs get drawn before this price action ever happens. Here to here, and then all of a sudden they came in, tried to support the 23.6. That was at 116.80. Happened to be a swing low also. Just a couple days ago, though, that broke. So, next stop, 114s. 114 and change on the dollar, or on the euro versus the dollar. What does that say? It says a little bit of dollar strength. That means money is coming into the U.S. And where is it going, my friends? It's going into domestic equities for sure. So it's not just us banking on this tax reform. It's the rest of the world, too. Okay, now, let's take a look at these 5 Zacks Rank #1 strong buy stocks. I promised you at 52-week highs. The first is Braskem, so think plastics and resins and things like that. Long consolidation followed by a spike up, a little bit of a retracement to retest those same levels. It's amazing how that market comes back to the scene of the crime at all times. And then with that sort of coinciding with the 50-day moving average, found plenty of support. And then after a big day yesterday, we've got an inside day today. But I expect the positive momentum to continue for Braskem. If you're a little afraid about chasing this, you can buy, set your stops underneath 30, or you can be a little bit more conservative, get it underneath the candle of this giant candle there. Of course, you also have the 50-day moving average hanging out at 27 to provide some support. That's Braskem, ticker BAK. Then I've got Cypress Semiconductor. Think of the Internet of Things, my friends. All sorts of microcontrollers and connectivity devices. Sort of a big move from November into mid-March. Then a consolidation period, which it's recently broken out from. So that $15 level was firm resistance. We're on the north side of 15. Again, a similar play here where you can go long and strong, put your stops underneath that $15 range just in case things start to get a little sick. Then you can jump ship on Cypress Semi, ticker CY. Then we've got one that I've been holding in Momentum Trader, actually, which is Echo Patrol, ticker EC. And these guys have had a lot of strength recently. You see this consolidation near the 50 days, sort of trying to find some direction, gets up to the high, burst on through the high, and has not looked back. So a ton of momentum here. Is it a little overbought? Perhaps. So maybe you don't want to chase it. But if you did, you got a pretty good risk versus reward here, because this spike here in May into the 10s, sort of the 1040 level, could provide some downside support if the market does, in fact, come back down to test that. So you can put your stop shy of that and just go ahead and grab onto this bad boy and let it run. Speaking of running and racing, it's Ferrari, ticker RACE. It's funny, I was just talking in my other video about the 430 Scuderia prices coming down a little bit. Different sort of thesis here. Ferrari is going to be making an SUV, my friends. That's right. Pretty much everybody's going to make SUV. If Lambo's going to do it, Ferrari's going to have to copy them as well. Of course, they had the California, big seller for them, sort of the entry-level Ferrari. Not much of a Ferrari if you ask me, but that's okay. And then, of course, they have plenty of special edition cars that have been released this year, and they're benefiting just from global wealth overall. See this gap down, retest of the 50-day, and then now here we are, 52-week highs again. I expect this bad boy to be off to the races a little bit more. That's Ferrari, ticker, fittingly enough, RACE. And the last one I got for you, son, is Sonus Networks, ticker SONS. This was a member of a surprise trader that I put on prior to earnings. Had a really good day after earnings, get an intraday spike, and then came all the way down to retest the pre-earnings low. There is all sorts of rocking and rolling, sloshing back and forth happening in this name, but overall, I do like the trajectory. You notice it has a tendency to spike up, come down, find support. This is evident of sort of a lack of liquidity overall in a stock like this. That's okay, though, as long as you've got your risk parameters in there. And I don't mean lack of liquidity in that, you know, it doesn't trade enough shares for you to get out. It's not a penny stock by any means, but where the real money is that can actually support it comes in at the 50-day, comes in near the highs, tries to take out the highs, maybe some algo trading going on. So when it gets in the sights of one of these algos, you get whipped around a little bit. But one thing that I want to show you, my volume and price indicator, one of my favorite tools. You know, you can put volume down here, show you what day. I'm not really concerned with one day. I'm more concerned with what price. And you can see a big chunk of this price action going out right around this 780 level. I'm expecting that that was defended today and hopefully will be defended again tomorrow, and we'll be right back up at those 52-week highs in no time at all. That was Sonus Networks, ticker Suns. All right, folks, that's all I got for you here today with Dave's Daily Dives. Be sure to check me out on Twitter at Bartosiastics, so you can join in all the fun. Of course, I'm here on Zacks.com as editor of Surprise Trader as well as Momentum Trader, and then I'm always doing my free videos online with Zacks Live Traders. So I'm around, man. So thanks for hanging out with me here on Zacks Live Trader. Have a good one. We'll talk to you soon.